Yeah, Prisma Health injury report this week is basically the Prisma Health O-line injury report because really everyone but the offensive line is good, which is a positive in that sense. Miles tweaked something in practice this week. He'll be fine. Judge Collier, he's good to go. Troy Pikes got banged up a little bit in practice, but yesterday, but practiced today, and he'll be fine by Saturday. Markey, Nolan, and Kaysen, they'll all be out, which, hate that for them and for us, but hopefully we can get those guys back soon.
Shane Beamer, the injury report last night brought to you by the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm. And disappointing, 3 offensive linemen that will not be able to perform for Carolina in an area where you need some veteran presence, and certainly a couple of those guys provide it for you in Henry and Markey Anderson. Welcome back in, Jay and Terry with you. Always a pleasure to be joined on the guest line on Football Friday by one of our favorite people. He is the former Gamecock D lineman, team captain, draft pick of the Cincinnati Bengals, husband, father, softball aficionado, children's book author, public speaker. Now he's a man about town in D.C. a lot because that's where his daughter's in school. And I don't know if he's going to go to the Texas State Fair, but he might, because it's in Dallas, and that's where he lives. How you doing, Langston Moore?
Hey, bud.
Hey, man. Oh, man, that's why you don't have a 9 to 5, man. You just say, part of my job today is going to go walk around the fair, so you try to get there early with the other carnies.
With the other carnies.
Is that the same thing? Is the fair and the carnies? I think they're the same, at least distant cut.
No, I think that's right. I think it fits.
Hey, Langston might give them a different name, but they're carnies.
I think it fits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come back around to some fair foods and maybe some of Langston's memories being in college at the South Carolina State Fair relative to what goes on in Dallas at the Texas State Fair. Or I think they call it the State Fair of Texas, don't they? Is that official?
I don't know. I don't know the official moniker of it, but I know it is huge, and it is,
I do want to go. I do. Tell Mrs. Moore to just pull up a cotton next year. I won't come this year. I'm not going to spring it on you now. But,
it won't be the first time one of my friends just showed up and my wife is like, okay, this is your friend. You handle it.
What we can do, Langston, you are a member of the media. You can say you're covering the state fair and we can get you in for free.
Oh,
correct. But again, how much work will get done that just remains. Give me an assignment. Give me 2 or 3 things to do. Make sure you get this. Get an interview before halftime. That'll work. But otherwise, I'm over there by the hot dog cart. The corn dog. The corn dog.
Corn dogs. All right. So big opportunity, and I know that's one of football coaches' favorite terms to use. You've played in this environment in Baton Rouge and games like this. Not a lot of people, whether it's humans or computers, giving South Carolina the opportunity. We had our buddy Matt Moscona on, who you've met yesterday. He doesn't give Carolina much of a chance. So maybe I'm crazy for having picked South Carolina to win the football game 23-20 because I think they're going to win the turnover battle and make it count. But in your estimation, with 2 teams that can't run and one does have a better defense, at least on paper, LSU, than South Carolina, Where are those margins tomorrow night to keep Carolina in this game the way, Langston, they were, in the game late at Missouri?
I think a couple things come to mind when I think about the margins and what's going to be the difference maker. Of course, the bye week. Both teams had a bye week, but went into the bye week. One went in with a win. One came in off a loss. The next thing, you think about bye week getting healthy. You hate to hear that report from our, offensive line and all those guys. It's just football. That's just what it is. You got to deal with injuries. But you think LSU's coming out of this deal, especially when the quarterback stance, because they won't admit it, but there's obviously something wrong with them. So hopefully, he's got one or 2 more weeks in him until he's all the way healthy. He can wait till after our game to get all the way back to that. Because again, he hasn't been in the best form. And then you talk about turnovers, both teams kind of protect the football at the same rate, and we both kind of take the ball away from our opponent at the same rate. So I think it's going to have to be a push deal, but us going on the road is going to be a really tough deal. All that being said, 2 things come to mind when I think about all of that, because it kind of feels, even to me, and I know the big difference is LSU at night. We're going to talk about that environment, all those different things here in a second. But my coach is better than your coach. My player is better than your player. At the end of the day, I think Shea Baber is a better coach, and he's going to figure out a way to galvanize these guys, even though it's going to be on the road. And we got that dude at the end of the day. And so I always come on here, talk the Lou Holtz stuff with the traveling and all that. All of that stuff has to be a given that we travel with our tackling, our defense. But between us having the dude and us being able to play kind of a brand of Beamer ball, which specifically I don't think we're going to get a whole bunch of turnovers, but there will be one or two, and they will be crucial. But I think that's where the special teams deal is really going to be effective for us. So figure out some ways to get a break in the special teams. I think it's going to be more so return because we hadn't heard from that guy who returned a whole bunch of kicks in the earlier of the year. We hadn't heard from him in a little bit. Right. This would be a perfect time for him to come back on the road. And then again, at the end of the day, we got 16. Do your thing. At the end of the day, we have to help 16 do his things, obviously, with the play calling.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with you because this team, the offense, it will cook with 16. And 16 has got to touch the ball a lot, Langston, because they're not scared of anybody else, and they're going to do everything they can to stop 16. Now, again, I'll make you offensive coordinator. You know they're going to spy one or two guys, hell, maybe 11 are going to spy him. What do you do to counteract what LSU is going to try to do to stop 16?
Well, they're going to spy him with their guy, the guy, Harold Perkins Jr. That's the rover. That's what they're going to try to do with him. They'll figure some different ways to try to flush him one way away from his dominant hand, his throwing hand. But specifically as an offense, we gotta be the hammer and not the nail. So again, getting into the flow of the game, I think a lot of quarterback-driven runs. Well, again, he doesn't have to actually run, but giving me the option of him pulling it, doing some different things like that. Getting Perkins, if I can get Perkins and a defensive end out of the context, and we already got numbers on the run side, there's no way we should not be able to at least get 3 to 4 yards of run. And again, we'll take that because that worked for Ohio State, 3 yards of the cloud of dust. I think it'll work for us if we can be consistent with it, especially on the road. Then there'll be a time where 16 can just be magical. And so we've been talking about all year about the quarterback numbers and what they need to see as far as I still think that number needs to be 10 to 12 design runs and maybe 4 to 5. There's going to be 4 to 5 plays where he's just going to do Lenore's third and Lenore's deals up there at Clemson. We hope he does that and again does his thing. So we won't plan for that. But again, man coverage, different things like that. And again, one of the best examples we have is right before Trinidad Chambliss, the kid from Ole Miss. Two totally different. One is a Mazda, is a Ferrari, and one is the Kia. So they'll both get us there. They'll both get us there, but how are we going to get there in style? And we got a lot more options with our guy there. So my big thing is take some keys from that, spread it out, quarterback runs, but they are supremely talented. Everything they say about LSU athletes and them playing at home gives them a whole nother dimension. The guy's a little bit taller, a little bit faster. All of that stuff is true. But again, we still have that guy that I put against any of those guys that have lined up in there, that are lined up against us on Saturday.
I got about a minute before the break. What do you remember about walking into that stadium for the first time?
Yeah, I'll tell you the story. We're riding on the bus, going on straight on in. I'm sitting behind Lou Holtz, kind of close to him. It's a day game, getting ready to be a night game, and a guy runs along the side of the bus with a chicken in the cage, and he reaches in and he snaps the chicken's neck. Lou Holtz was watching this man the whole time, and then all of a sudden Lou Holtz hit the Stevie Wonder, and he acted like he didn't see nothing. He was like, "Oh man, I didn't see that. What was going on?" And I think he never saw anything like that at Notre Dame, at Arkansas, any of these places. So that let us all know it was real that night. It was real that night.
Dad, go.
Man.
I mean, well, you know what? I'll
Time to go to break.
I'll leave that right there. Dang. Anyway, all right. Because Brew talked about being next to the Tiger.
Yeah,
that sounds worse.
Preston told that, but then you start snapping live chickens' necks.
Wow.
And that's insane.
And again, I don't think this was an LSU graduate.
I was going to say that's somebody that didn't go to the college.
Don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
All right, more with Langston on the other side of the break. You got a lot to get to still with this ball game. Get into a few NFL thoughts as well. He's Langston Moore. I'm Jay Phillips. That's Terry Ford, and this is the Football Friday postgame show. Griffin Pools and Spas is your authorized Latham, fiberglass, and Imperial vinyl pool dealer. And right now, their end of the year sale is about to give you an opportunity to take advantage of special deals on an in-ground pool. I know it's October. I know. But listen, you can get ahead of the spring rush, right? Also, discounts and factory incentives on all of their spas just in time for the fall and the cooler weather. Starting up next week, they're going to have their big-time end-of-year sale. Come see them at 1348 North Lake Drive, steps away from the Lake Murray Dam. They'll have factory reps out there. You can save thousands on an in-ground pool and be swim-ready by the spring. Let their family help your family create a backyard oasis. It's the end-of-the-year sale. Starts October the 16th at Griffin Pools and Spas, where they've been selling backyard fun for nearly 50 years. Learn more right now at griffinpoolsandspas.com. Welcome back in. Post-game show rolling on this Football Friday. Jay and Terry with you here in downtown Columbia. Langston Moore on the guest line from his home in Dallas, Texas. Elijah will join us coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. He is on site in Baton Rouge, ready for tomorrow night's game. And we'll try to get into a little bit more fair food talk with Langston before we get him out of here. Let me take you back to tomorrow night, though. And it was last week. It wasn't this week. It was last week. I heard Cole Kubelik. I believe he was on Josh Pate's show, or maybe Andy and Ari. I forget which one now. But it was Cole Langston, and he was talking about Garrett Nussmeier having the potential in games. He said 2 or 3 times a game he's going to put the ball in harm's way. Not that he's going to have a turnover. I think he has 3 picks this year, and Terry made mention that he has 6 turnover-worthy plays. So that kind of jives with what Josh was talking about. What Cole was talking about. My question to you as a defender is what that film study is like. I know you played in the interior of the line, but regardless, if you know an opponent is prone to that kind of play, what's the film study like in terms of the anticipation levels?
Oh man, if I'm the defensive coordinator, I'm just planting that seed as early as I can in the week that this dude is super accurate, and I think that's one of the reasons why it happens is because Nussmeier, one, being a kind of a coach's son, he is a coach's son, and then he has some good accuracy, but with that accuracy gives you a little bravado, gives you, man, I can put that in. I can watch me land this thing. And again, that's why I'm not a pilot, because I don't have that kind of, that type of gusto. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where you see some of those plays at. So for him, if I'm the defensive coordinator, I'm trying to plant that seed early as possible, trying to show them those plays where it was close. A lot of, even the ones that don't get, a lot of those interceptors that might have been tips or overthrows that just fell to the ground, but, showing them, man, right here, this is how close we are of you. In the right position, this will be very applicable for us. You're going to be able to be in a position to do what you need to do. Fred, Vakari Swin, the rest of these guys, all the things that we hopefully, Brandon Cisse, hopefully, because again, a lot of these guys have been talking about Cisse. He's been playing. He's been pretty dominant, I guess, as far as not dominant, but, pretty efficient. I know he ranks in the top 20 as far as covering guys, but it just hadn't really shown itself. And we've been waiting for that kind of big return on investment from the NIL deal, especially in the form of interceptions. This would be a great time to do it. But I think one of the biggest things for LSU and what we have to remember as a defense is that there's going to be opportunities where, Nussmeier might give you those 1 or 2 deals where you try to squeeze it into a tight place or it's a tip or an overthrow, but they want to take those big shots too, because they also feel like if they've missed on a lot of big shots, big plays, pass plays over 15, 16 yards, but they feel like if they've made 2 or 3 of those connections, it's a whole different narrative for their season. And again, they're still 4-1, and that's the thing Brian Kelly's been kind of harping on with this. Well, we're right there, guys, but this can be an opportunity for us. Again, a statement game to go into somebody else's place. And like I say all the time, no better place than to go and beat somebody you remember this forever, to have this team right here, because they're kind of, I think the Boo Birds will come out if there's not enough success series, if they don't come out hot enough for them. I mean, it's not going to be like how it was when we went down there to play LSU and we went up in the halftime and they just came out ruined. I think if we go into the halftime up a substantial amount, it's over.
I mean, you know what? If they start booing, then Kelly can go on the mic and do his cool fake Cajun accent to get everybody, everybody's feels right. Hey, Langston, look, LSU, they have a tough time running the ball. Their offensive line struggles in the run game with blocking. They're not the most physical crew in the world on offense. Obviously, they have to live and die on their passing game. When you're playing on defense, you're especially on a D-line, and you're going up against a team that's not known for physicality in the run game, they're kind of finesse, they're having some issues running the ball and problems blocking up front in the run game. Kind of go through it in the mind of a defender when you've got that kind of crew in front of you.
It's jet mentality, and that's where I think LSU doesn't want to be with our defense, especially with Clay White, because when we can get a lead, we can definitely do some very creative things just schematically, and of course keep everything inside and in front of us. No deep plays, no different things like that. But we also have a dude, Dylan Stewart, and we talked about it last week where we started being really creative. We weren't getting the pressure we wanted from Dylan winning off the edge, so we started spiking him, doing different things where he's going to come up interior, and that's going to be perfect game plan this week because Nussmeier's not a guy who can really run and get out there. I mean, Tom Brady looks like that's what comes to mind when I'm thinking about Nussmeier running around back there. So you don't have to worry about him escaping too much. Again, we still going to have to play diligent, do all those things. The loop man's going to have to loop, but spiking and getting Dillon and even BT up in there and inside on a lot of those interior games without having to blitz some guys is going to be very advantageous because we can still have those guys out there in coverage. So I think it bodes well for us to really make sure we eliminate that run early on and put that back up into their mind like, oh, man, we came out the bye week. It's not working for us. You know, that play, we said we were going to hit them with 32 hammers straight out the gate, and it went for a negative play out the gate. I feel like this team is on the LSU was on the verge of like just really tossing their hands in the air and just really just chucking it down the field all the time and just leaving it up to that. And that's just a whole bunch of 3-and-outs can ensue when something like that happens. But of course, if they can get the draw game going, if they can do some certain different things, that'll bode well into that. And I think it feels to me with all the talk about them talking about the run game, I think they're going to try to do a deal where it's going to be they're trying to pass to set up the run, more so looking on first down plays, play action deals, a lot of deals to try to get us off script, off different things like that. And then from there, coming back with a lot of draws and different deals like that in their gameplay.
Well, in that vein, how do you see it for Carolina's offense? I mean, one of the things that we talked about yesterday, and look, I'm far from an expert, man, but I feel like does Carolina try to stretch the field early and make that LSU defense take a few steps back, you know, and maybe create a little space, whether it's space for Lenoris to run in or space for him to hit the tight ends over the middle or just anything that spreads LSU around, because we've seen opposing defenses just basically go, look, they're going to either throw deep or try to run, and we'll stop the run, and, you know, we'll see what happens. How do you create those lanes and keep LSU off balance?
Again, I think it all goes back through 16s. Again, moving him, getting him out on the perimeter, allowing him to see the field and dictate different things. But, you know, giving them the run pass options, even double run options when we're talking about quarterback runs, different things like that. But it's always been interesting because all the way back to the Vanderbilt game when they talked about how they defend South Carolina. And we heard all the time, Cole Kubelik got the interview. There's like they double covered our guy, the wide receiver, Nick Harper. So because that's very interesting to me, and because you know they just don't want that one big play to take the top off of it. And I think you're right, Jay. But we have to use. Everybody knows Nick is fast. They're not going to try to be BD, especially early on. Especially this defense right here. They're pretty much sound, but that's where we have to use him. Like I said, as a decoy. We got to get him downfield. We got to get him running a lot, and then we got to have Vandrevius come right underneath him, underneath that underneath route. A lot of the tight end stuff, and again, sending everybody deep. Okay, we know they're going to dedicate two guys, at least the corner and the safety to that deal. So that's two out of the equation. We got our quarterback on there. Let's see what we do, especially if they're in man coverage on certain deals. So, like I said, a lot of things have to go through the North, but it's also been a tune we've been playing all year. I just think it goes back to this is the time. There's no more waiting, because after this, we know the schedule. Everybody's been talking about the schedule, but everything is still in front of us because the game is still here, and of course the season. But this dramatically changes the whole tone, tenor, narrative of the season with everything that's happened beforehand, especially going into this, and especially for our program here, because again, you know, 1994, 1995, that was the last time it even came close. That was a tie. A tie in football is, I don't know what that is. That's a kiss from the sister, right?
That's ancient history these days. I could still see Monty Means, though, jumping up and down in that 94 film, man, over in Baton Rouge after Carolina made a big play. All right, we'll come back on the other side. Hey, if 41-year-old Joe Flacco can be a Cincinnati Bengal, then I want to know why Langston Moore can't be a Cincinnati Bengal. So we'll see if he can
That's a great point.
address the
You
rumors.
getting back in shape?
Address the rumors.
Never been in shape.
We'll wrap it with Mr. Moore on that on the other side. It's the postgame show. We'll get to the vault in just a second. We got kind of like another one because, again, we're opening the vault that is Joe Flacco's career.
Do it. We'll get to this other one later. This one's better. Let's do this.
But rumors that were heard on the Friday, October 10th postgame show around 3:45 Eastern suggest that Langston Moore could be looking at a comeback to join Joe Flacco as a member of the Cincinnati Bengals. Langston Moore is still with us. Mm-hmm. Would you like to say anything to address
Do we want to break?
the rumors?
Do we want to break it here? Can we go ahead and break the news here?
Let's do it.
Absolutely not. No.
Oh, man.
Knowing that organization and how much non-guaranteed money I'll get, I'll have to play. I'd actually have to play. They'd actually make an old man go out there. They're gonna make a.
They'll treat you like fantasy camp, right? It'll be like fantasy. You pay them.
That's right.
I'm sure they're gonna figure out a way to make this a push for Joe Flacco. They're gonna make that old man go out there and play to get a check. They didn't give him any guaranteed money. I'm sure they did. But man,
come on, Langston, you can go there, get that used jock strap like the old days. Come on, man.
Oh man, it's probably still got my number in it. They just probably scratched it out. It's like number 4. I'm the fourth guy to have this. Here, sir, John Thornton. You. Who else played there?
Is Trey Henderson going like, who is L. Moore?
Right.
Exactly.
I can see Langston going, wait a minute, who the hell is Booby Clark?
All right, well, unfortunately, then, you will not be joining Joe Flacco. I did say, in all seriousness, real quick, for your Bengals, I told Terry, and you know Terry's a Ravens fan, I don't think this happens if Lamar is healthy and the Ravens are, say, 3-2, 4-1, as opposed to 1-4, and Lamar missing practice all week again. I think the Bengals feel like they still have an outside shot at what is a relatively down division.
Yeah, they think they got a shot. And again, I mean, you still got Jamar Chase. I said it last week when we were kind of texting back and forth on Sunday. Like, even though Detroit kind of had that game, it was, if you're watching closely, like, they just kept chucking it up. And that's all you need. You need somebody like what Joe Flacco can do. Don't worry, he will get you some check down stuff. But, man, every now and again, check down, Jamar Chase. Higgins, okay. I think we'll figure out a way to do that. That's a great point. By not having Lamar out there, you can kind of eliminate that because we got Cleveland's number. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, look, Browning, God love him. I mean, at some point, Coach Taylor pulled him over and he said, you play for the Bengals. Throw the ball to the guys wearing the Bengal jerseys.
Well, the look on his face, but God bless him, he was, oh, man.
He was done. Yeah. He was over.
That was shell-shocked.
Did you see the stat that Jamar Chase had more tackles last Sunday than Hendrickson?
Oh, wow.
I'm laughing, but it's probably true. It's probably very much true.
Crazy.
That's not good. What's wrong with the Eagles, man? I mean, did the Broncos wreck them?
I don't know. I don't know if the Broncos wrecked them, but it was a rattle. And again, I think it's just an overcorrection last week. Like you saw, who's running the ship is the whole point. Now we know Nick Sirianni and leadership and all of this stuff, but like, just because you're clamoring for the ball doesn't mean we're going to come out and give Saquon Barkley the ball 9 times like they did the week before last when they lost the game. And then last night, of course, was what it was. And into a foe that should be, I mean, again, why the Giants are still having life and breathing is crazy to me. But I guess that's more of a testament about what they're doing. It feels like they got something brewing up there with like a young nucleus of guys getting really hype around Carson, but Dart, and of course our boy Cam Scatterboo.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really interesting. But the Eagles, they'll be back. I mean, they're too supremely talented, but I think it won't be a talent thing. It'll be injuries and the internal stuff that will undermine these guys.
Yeah, I can't. I just heard the guy on the CBS National Minute. You might not have heard it, Langston. I don't know if you heard it or not while you were on hold, but it was like, if you want to go ahead and panic, I'm like, they're 4-2.
Guys, you remember last year they had a come to Jesus meeting? Remember AJ Brown had some book on the sideline, motivational book and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there you go. All we need to do is have a book club.
Read.
As a guy who advocates. Exactly. We just need to read more.
And
they
look
should
at that.
Be reading about a chicken is what they should be reading.
And that takes me straight into why we love Langston Moore. Don't forget to visit athletesandartists.net, where you can learn about the Just a Chicken series of books for that young Gamecock reader in your life, or just young reader in your life. Just a Chicken Little, used to was a rooster. Now is a great time to be thinking about these books ahead of the holiday season. There's also merch available at athletesandartists.net. And, of course, the Button Gut Podcast, the Fight Podcast, and so much more. And the artwork of the elusive Kev Roche and how you can get Langston and our own Coach P, Preston Thorne, into a school or other speaking engagement near you, athletesанdartists.net. Enjoy the Texas State Fair, sir. Always great to have you. We'll be in touch here soon enough, but have one of those Fruity Pebble corn dogs for us and let us know next week, all right?
That looks good, man.
Not at all. I'll walk in and they'll roll me out after that.
See you, my man.
Athletesанdartists.net.
Have a good one.
Remove the chains on Twitter. He is Langston Moore, and sadly, he is not coming out of retirement to play for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Today might have been a classic.
We were almost ready to break big time news. Like we'd have to call
Thought we had
Florio.
it. I thought
we had it.
Maybe a
I
comeback,
thought the rumors were true.
a decapitated chicken in Baton Rouge. Man, that was an hour.
Yeah, that's an image that's not going to leave me for a while.
That was something.
I wasn't ready, and I've known
wasn't
Langston
ready.
a long time, and I never heard that one. Speaking of Baton Rouge, Elijah will join us from there. Coming up, keep it here. Integrated Media is ready to make your football watching, your holiday movie watching, heck, your regular movie watching, or your concert listening and watching better than ever before. Now is a great time to call the folks at Integrated, get ahead of that holiday rush and that bowl game rush and that playoff rush, because that happens too. In fact, that's really a lot of times when folks like Integrated Media get at their busiest ahead of the big games, if you know what I mean. Again, outdoor system, now's a great time to put one of those in and enjoy the fall weather and the fall football. Outdoor systems that have equipment built to be outside all the time. Not like the old days where you could get a TV from inside and put a cover on it or have to bring it in all the time and worry about the speakers. Nope, these things can live outside just like your patio furniture. Only they do a whole lot more for you when it comes to watching football. 803-948-8327. One room, whole house, indoors, outdoors, Wi-Fi that works everywhere. Get it all installed and work with the great pros at Integrated Media.
Quick check on the traffic. An incident has been cleared in West Columbia I-26 westbound at Augusta Road, exit 111. Also an accident, Garner's Ferry Road at Atlas Road, Hardscrabble Road at Elders Pond Road, and I-26 westbound at South Carolina 202.
It is Football Friday. Welcome back in alongside Terry Ford. I'm Jay Phillips. Post-game show rolling on. Hour number 2 from the Herndon Chevy Studios in downtown Columbia. Once again, thanks to our great friend Langston Moore, the former Gamecock and former Cincinnati Bengal, and sadly, once again, not former future Cincinnati Bengal.
I can see that comeback.
Well,
They need some help on the D-line.
he said no. He said he'd rather go into the Texas State Fair and be rolled out. And, I kind of get that.
Yeah.
I kind of get that.
Langston, well, put it this way. When it involves the Bengals, everything I've heard from Langston and others with that organization, pay me in cash up front.
Right.
I want a suitcase. That's what I want.
You get like one of those little cards that has little punch holes on it for certain things that you.
Doubt. Hey, 3 more visits to practice, and here's what you get.
Yeah. Get you like a free, like what's on Seinfeld when she only 2 more subs and I'm a sub captain. And
Right.
Jerry says like, what does that mean? She goes, free sub. That's what it is. And you realize Mike Brown owns the sub place, and then it's like, hey, there's only 2 slices of turkey on this sub. It's not really a sub.
Why is the bread green?
Yeah.
Oh, get this, man.
Where's
up?
the cheese? We don't serve cheese.
That'd be extra. That's another 10 trips.
That's right. Yeah.
Another 10 trips.
Extra punch card. Anyway, lots to get to here. Shane Beamer speaking last night. We'll get to some more of that in just a second. You want to do the vault that you had? I know we had because we had a.
There's one. I'll skip the pro one. I'll cut out the highlight for it. It was interesting. This day, I gotta get back on my phone real quick here. This day in 2011, I believe it was. You remember, and again, this is one of the things. If I tell you it, you'll go, "Oh yeah, I remember that." The CFL record for most yards, career-wise, was broke on this day. Do you remember the guy? And if you don't, it's okay. Once I say the name, you'll go, "Okay, yeah, I remember this dude now."
Well, I guess it wasn't Doug Flutie.
No, he was great.
No, he
in
was
CFL.
great in the CFL.
Yeah. Warren, not
was
Warren
it Warren Moon?
Nope.
I'm not. I don't know.
It's a guy. Oh, come on, AP. I don't care. All right, 2000 already. In 2000, Anthony Calavio. Do you remember that guy? Ward number 13, kind of a shorter dude.
Yeah.
He broke the record by throwing for 72,381 yards. He broke this name you'll remember, Damon Allen.
Okay.
Bounced around the NFL, kind of a backup quarterback,
right,
journeyman guy.
Right.
Allen had the all-time CFL record of 72,381, and that's what Calavio broke on this day in 2011. But you'll like this better.
Okay.
Because, now you're going, who cares the CFL, right?
Well, no, I'm trying to wait and figure out when NFL teams will start scheduling CFL teams.
Well,
just to take a break from the
that's coming
rigors
too.
of the NFL.
Well, you have to. CFL, get a couple of those teams over in Europe. Yeah.
Thursday Night Football. It's the New England Patriots and the Toronto Argonauts.
The ratings would be insane.
It's the BC Lions taking on your Dallas Cowboys.
The U.S. invades Canada. This happened this day in 1963 when we go to entertainment news. So.
Ooh, okay.
Guess which one debuted, sir?
1963. Goldfinger?
To Russia.
From Russia with Love.
Russia with
okay,
Love.
okay, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably know that.
You're a Bond guy.
I am, and I will also tell you that you just have completely derailed the program because now all we're going to do is talk about James Bond movies. I am a huge James Bond fan.
See, I love Sean Connery's James Bond. That's my jam. Love Connery.
Boy, he's the best. And I mean, look, Roger Moore has, he's gone now, but Roger Moore made it abundantly clear that, hey, I very much intended for my portrayal of James Bond to be different from the other guy because I was different from the other guy.
Yes, he was.
And I thought Dalton was fine. I think Pierce Brosnan was terrific.
He was good.
I think Daniel Craig.
He brought a different thing
great.
to it.
And with Daniel Craig, they did like a complete reboot, if you will, of the franchise in the sense that, really from Sean Connery to Pierce Brosnan, it was kind of supposed to be the same dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which is again fine because I there's only a couple of bad Bond movies, and there are a couple of bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like Moonraker's not very good.
No.
But Moonraker's not very good because the effects. They just didn't have the budget like that Star Wars or something had. But so yeah. But From Russia with Love is tremendous.
Do you remember the Bond girl?
She was Italian. I can't think of her name. It's
You're getting there. You're close.
does it start with a D?
Daniela Bianchi.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Italian actress played a Russian.
And totally believable.
Yeah, she was great.
She's good. Oh yeah. Look, I love especially the Sean Connery Bond stuff. The Bond stuff is good. And I'll say Daniel Craig brought a nice little different intensity to that thing. That was like, again, that wasn't Pierce Brosnan, who, by the way, I liked his Remington Steele. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Not as good as Bruce Willis in Moonlighting, but again, Daniel Craig brought a whole different kind of vibe to it. It was cool.
Well, one thing about that I love about From Russia with Love, real quick, and then I promise we'll get to Shane Beamer. Not the bad guy, because the bad guy, of course, is Blofeld and Spectre, but Robert Shaw was, the guy, and Robert Shaw, of course, went on to maybe have his biggest role in Jaws.
But getting bit in half.
Yes, he did, sadly.
I'm not worried about saying that the movie's 50 years old.
Yeah.
Don't really. If you haven't seen
Jaws
spoiler,
by
Robert
now,
Shaw gets bit in half. There you go.
Sorry, that's all. But that's not a full spoiler, so that's good.
Yeah, that's only part of it.
There's a little bit left, but
absolutely. But that today, 1963.
Nice, man. Nice. Again, we could do more Bond, but we'll get into some football.
I knew you'd enjoy that.
I
That's
did.
why I
Yeah,
had to
thank
pop
you.
that
Thank
out,
you.
man.
I again, huge fan. Makes me want to go watch From Russia with Love.
You know what? Me too. I'm watching the trailer in here when I was pulling the music.
Yeah.
Like I want to go watch the movie.
Oh, it's great. I could watch it. There's not. The only one I don't like doesn't even really count, and that's Never Say Never Again, when Connery came back, because it wasn't an officially authorized Bond film.
What was the one the guy did it one time? He only did one movie. It was after Connery, before Moore.
Yeah, that's on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Yeah.
And the actor is, hang on, I'll give it in a second. I'll think of it in a second. But the story is fantastic.
Yeah, I just wasn't down with him.
And I know some of you are screaming at he's the Australian actor, and I'm just drawing.
I can picture him in my head, and I can't think of his name.
George Lazenby.
There you go. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go.
That's a great story.
I just didn't like him.
You know what? I liken it. This is a weird analogy. It's like Godfather 3. The story is amazing, but because there's just some acting that is like not good enough,
ruins it.
It's just. Like
throws it off kilter.
Once you watch it a couple of times, and you can kind of get, and you let it flow backward, and you're like okay with it, and then you can appreciate it more. That's kind of how I feel about On Her Majesty's Secret Service. But it's a good story.
No, I just couldn't. I just wasn't down with him, and it is personal. I just don't like him.
Yeah, he's not nice.
I don't like him. He's not a personally likable guy.
And apparently, in all seriousness, that's why they basically only had him once. Because it was like he was like kind of a B-list guy, and they're like, buddy, you just got the role of a lifetime, and you're going to act like this?
Right. Read the room, pal.
And so they called Connery back. He's like, sure, I'll take your cash.
Yeah. And by the way, he went back to being a B-lister.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I don't even know if he did that.
Exactly.
I think he went back to like doing commercials for the local, the local grocery store. Anyway, we told you earlier that Carolina has 3 offensive linemen that are not going to play tomorrow night. Kason Henry, Marky Anderson, and Nolan Hay all out. Cut number 9, please, Terry, on today's list. With those things in mind, here was Shane Beamer from last night's call-in show on what they attempt to do up front.
Yes, Blake Baker, their defensive coordinator, does an awesome job. We know all about him from 2022 and 2023 when he was at Missouri, and we went up against him and not very well. And then last year, obviously being his first year at LSU, he makes it really difficult on opposing offenses. But to answer your question, I'm very confident. We're not, with those guys being out, it's not ideal, but it's not like we're putting people in there that are, haven't played. We're putting guys in there like Josiah or like Tree, who has played a lot, and Rodney Newsome and Boaz Stanley and Tro and Shed, Nick Sharp, transfer from Wake Forest, Tavy. We've got some guys on the offensive line that are good players that outside of Shed, who's a true freshman, they've got experience and they've played football at the college level. So it's not ideal, but you're right. We got to be able to not allow them to completely disrupt what we're trying to do offensively, and it's on us as an offense to go out there and execute. Those guys are all scholarship football players that we got a lot of confidence in, and they need to go play well on Saturday night, and we need to help them.
On the one hand, for fans, I think you hear a lot of the names that will play relative to the 3 that won't, and you say, all right, I know all those names. Mm-hmm. And I know those names are all guys that were highly recruited and have seen some time. And then the flip of the coin, of course, Terry, is, all right, well, then why'd they lose their job? Or why were the guys that are out? And, of course, Henry didn't, he's had his job the whole time.
Right.
But Marky Anderson's just, God bless him, he seems like he's stayed hurt.
He's that guy. He's just got to stay healthy.
And Hay has progressed really nicely of late. But otherwise, you hear a lot of names in there. Mm-hmm. And I know 2 of them that we talk about, that, in this year's transfer list, in Stanley and Sharp, like, they came in with great reputations as major college football players.
Sharp had a really nice year. I feel like Sharp hasn't been healthy. Remember, he got hurt. Was it during the spring?
I think so.
And then it just lingered in through the summer. He's only played, I think, the South Carolina State game is the only time he got run this year. He played like 15 snaps. I mean, he graded out well, but I think there's got to be some kind of injury thing with him, Jay, because he was good at Wake. I mean, especially in pass protection. So, or maybe it's just, look, Shane's big in practice. Maybe he just hasn't practiced as well as the other guys. But, that name's interesting because you're right. He hasn't played. Shed has had mixed results. Newsome's had mixed results. Boaz Stanley's had mixed results. So, to your point, your question is, these guys just haven't shown consistently they can do what needs to be done. So you're seeing even before injury, you saw some shuffling anyway.
Yeah. It'll be, look, I don't know if you have everybody completely healthy. It's a tall order against the number 5 defense in the country in their place at night. So
they're good, man.
But like I say, for South Carolina, I still believe that the things that, and look again, when we say it, they know it too. They being the team and the coaches. What can you do to try and not throw them off balance, but again, spread them out, create some space. Space for Lenoris to run in, like Langston said. We've heard a lot of people say that to us through the last year or so, Terry. You got to roll Lenoris out. You got to find a way to make the defense follow him around and get some things done. Or, again, can you stretch the field? How much can you use a Nick Harbor as a decoy before you finally have to throw him to football? How much attention do they want to pay to Nick Harbor? Do they try to put 2 guys? Do they try to drop a safety deep and almost dare you to do that? I don't know. But if it's what it looked like sometimes against Missouri, I don't like the opportunity.
It just, I guess.
And I don't think it will because I think Lenoris is going to be more mobile.
Has to be. And look, I understand, and we all understand, you want to have, in a perfect world, a versatile offense with a bunch of playmakers. And, okay, if you try to stop this guy, we got that guy. We got that guy. We get this guy, and we got that guy. And you can't just key on one guy to stop our offense. But guess what? You've been trying that for 5 games. And to a very mixed bag of results, sometimes results you don't like. I'm hoping during this bye week, everybody just sat in a room and went like this. Just make sure 16 has the bleeping ball in his hand.
Right.
Right? I mean, just let's run this thing through 16. Let's ride and die with 16. Running it, throwing it. Let's not try to overthink the room. We've got a special talent. Let's let the special talent play. And let's not try to... Look, here's who we are right now. Let's be realistic, right? And every now and then, don't you look in the mirror and go, okay, I know who I am.
Yeah.
I got to stop trying to be somebody else. Here's who I am.
While we were talking, by the way, all I could think of in my head was Hooper drives the boat, Chief. Is that wrong of me?
Well, at that point, you're not really sad that the shark won.
I love Jaws.
Jaws is good.
It's such a great movie. All right, Elijah Campbell on the other side. He is live on the ground in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he will join us when the postgame show returns. Welcome back in. Football Friday rolls on from the Herndon Chevy Studios. Jay and Terry here, and a few hours west. West? That way?
That way.
Is our good friend Elijah Campbell, and he's out there courtesy of our great friends at Forest Lake Travel for all your sports travel, holiday travel, business travel, whatever travel. Running from the law travel like Terry does.
Yeah, they get Daisy to get me around. Maybe she can set me up on some kind of private plane like Ford One that can fly me up north and back.
Sure.
I think that would work.
That's
A
not running.
plane specifically for Terry to escape warrants.
Yeah, right. Get you a new name. I don't know if Daisy specializes in witness protection.
Did you help a brother out?
I don't know. You had to.
You got to pay extra for that. There's a lot more extra work involved.
Yeah, typically their services are at no cost to the client.
That's right. For me, for that, would she be able to shave off my fingerprints?
Yeah, I don't think that's what they do.
You don't think?
No, I don't think that's.
Daisy's not going down that road.
I don't think that's what they do. Daisy's a wonderful, wonderful family type.
Above board.
Yeah, I don't think.
You don't know if you don't ask.
That's right. Well, that's true. Maybe she knows a guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Daisy's going to hear this and go, Jay, what the hell?
What are we doing?
I've only known you since we were 8. What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? Anyway, Elijah Campbell is out in Baton Rouge. All right, so you had a chance to kind of get out there, assess what the locals think. I think yesterday our good friend Matt Moscona, who you know, was on and doesn't give Carolina much of an opportunity. And I know we talked about that with you. Are there others out there, or is that the prevailing attitude that this is really not a game LSU should worry about?
Yeah, that's kind of the prevailing attitude, I would say, is that there's just other bigger games on their schedule. So, I mean, and like South Carolina, too. I mean, shoot, you're playing, after this game, 4 teams that are currently in the AP top 10. So there's certainly harder games on the schedule. But I think really any type of nervousness would just come from the fact that if you do lose this game, if you're LSU, then the playoff chances are very slim. And then that would be, 3-4 consecutive years of Brian Kelly being the head coach at LSU and not making the college football playoff, despite the last 3 head coaches of that program actually winning national titles. It would kind of bring out a sense of gross underachievement if they were to lose this game. And I don't sense any nervousness about it.
Well, let's throw the other side of it. I mean, obviously the Gamecocks, and we talked about this coming into the year, you're a preseason top 15 team, which puts you on the cusp of the playoff or in contention to be competitive for the playoff. You got 2 L's. You lose tomorrow. I mean, and look, 9-3 is a long shot, depending on how things will play itself out. If you lose tomorrow, if you want any hope or chance or shot, now you got to go on a heater like you did last year when you won. You finished up the year with 6 straight wins. You got to try to pull something like that. And last time I checked, fellas, a lot of ranked teams are coming up on that schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not just ranked teams. Teams, again, within the top 10. You have number 11 LSU tomorrow, and every team that you're playing for the next 4 weeks after that ranked higher. Oh, yeah, and 2 of those are also on the road outside of this one. So, I mean, really in terms of, having hopes for the college football playoff, I would not have those expectations because you don't want to hurt yourself emotionally. But you can salvage a really good season. You can still have a really good season and end this thing on a high note a lot better than you started it.
When you look at where Carolina is health-wise, 3 offensive linemen that would have seen time will not play, but the names behind them are at least known and have some level of experience. But, is this going to vastly alter what Carolina needs to do tomorrow night?
I don't know if it changes what they need to do. I think it does change the likelihood of them actually doing it. If we think back about this offensive line this year, Casey Henry's been really the most reliable one. It's been your best pass protector. He's been solid in run blocking. Nolan Hayes giving you something in terms of being one of your higher graded centers that you've had to play this year. And for an offensive line that's already struggling, it's been one of the more underperforming units in the SEC. To be down 3 players, including 2 who have started, a few games, and Case Henry, who started all the ones that he's been healthy for. It's not really good. I think the objective is going to be the same. I think Mike Shula is still going to try to establish something of a traditional run game, for better or for worse. And I just don't think you're going to be able to do that with 3 offensive linemen already ruled out, right? I mean, so I don't think the game plan changes a ton, but your ability to maybe execute the game plan changes a ton.
Real quick, one of the things we talk about explosive plays, and obviously South Carolina's going to need a couple of explosive plays in this game. Attacking, but what you can do, Elijah, in the pass game, and I've been talking about this all week, attack their linebackers. Perkins and Dalvon Keys combined in coverage, quarterbacks are 18 of 19 against them. These guys struggle when they got to backpedal and run around with tight ends or backs or slots. It might not be an explosive play, but it's the intermediate play that can move the chains and get you in field position to score.
Well, that could be your substitute for a run game. I mean, I highly doubt you're going to be able to run the ball on this defense. You haven't been able to run the ball on significantly worse defenses, right? I don't know if you're going to be able to do it at all. And if we go into this game, guys, and for your first, 7 or 8 first down plays, you're just running it into a wall, you're setting yourself up for failure. But if you can on 1st and 10, maybe go into a shotgun, empty formation, be able to hit a slant route for 5 yards, that's a win. And you put yourself up on 2nd and 5. You live with that, right? Like that could be your best, first down option. And also, I'm just going to go back to the same drum I've been beating all year. Your best offense has been out of play action. And these LSU linebackers, especially Whit Weeks, are so good at stopping the run, and they are so eager to stop the run that they will bite on play action. Whether or not you are running for more than a yard a carry or not, they're going to bite, and they're going to be out of position. And the middle of the field should open up in a pretty significant manner, right? LSU's corners are really good. Getting explosive plays over the top is going to be really difficult. Mansour Delane is tied with Brandon Cisse for the most incompletions forced in the SEC this year. Guy's played himself maybe into a first-round pick in the NFL draft. So, really, if you want to attack any type of weak spot where you can consistently move the ball, the middle of the field is going to be where that happens, and a lot of that can be from play action just by getting linebackers out of position or maybe a little overzealous.
Can I give you I just looked at this too. West Weeks, add him in this. With those 3 linebackers, opposing quarterbacks complete 29 of 32 throws against those linebackers.
Man, there's an opportunity.
Yes, there is. If you can execute it.
Yeah. On that note, I got just over a minute for you, Elijah. I know the world is a much smaller place, and we can all gather information from all over the planet, but you are on the ground in Baton Rouge. I'm curious if you've learned more about how people feel about Garrett Nussmeier's situation. It definitely banged up, but have you learned more about the degree of ache that he may be going through?
Not as much as like the degree of ache that he may be going through, but there's definitely like a fan frustration from some people I've talked to. Like there's a fan frustration about like the decision making, right? I think the decision making is the biggest thing right now because, yeah, I can understand maybe not being able to have the same numbers because you're not putting the same zip on the ball because you can't, right? But your oblique doesn't make you make bad decisions. And Garrett Nussmeier in the Ole Miss game, he threw 1 pick, should have thrown about 3.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. He loves to throw in double and triple coverage, and your oblique's not making you do that. That's your brain. That's your noggin. And the fact that he's played for so long in this system, has had a lot of starts for this school and still makes some of those mental mistakes is really where a majority of the angst comes in, more so than the injury.
But by the way, I just looked up WebMD. Your oblique can make you make bad decisions.
Oh, look at that.
I just looked this up.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Oh.
Look at that. WebMD.
I'm always here to help.
There you go. He's Elijah Campbell, and great work from Baton Rouge this week. He will not be a part of tonight's high school scoreboard show. Usually he is. Cale Wilson will be playing. And the good news with Cale is that he is also very tall.
Very tall.
Yeah.
And Justin Hall
We're not lacking in height.
Yeah, it's just that Cale has about 10% of the overall hair.
Yes.
Up top.
Elijah.
Yeah. Very short haircut.
Yeah, the show will be lacking in hair.
That's right.
For sure.
But otherwise, good stuff.
Thanks,
and
man.
Are you making a quick appearance tomorrow night as well? I think, maybe?
Right, yes, I am.
All right, there
I
you
sure
go.
am.
All right,
His big head of hair will be on the monitor
right.
at some point during the watch.
He's Elijah in Baton Rouge,
Thanks,
courtesy
man.
of Forest Lake Travel. Drive around the SEC is next. You know, fall in Columbia means football Saturdays, of course, and it means the leaves and the pine straw are beginning to fall all over the yard. You can tackle both of them with the power of steel right now at Cato's Power Equipment. The brand new BR 800X backpack blower is $50 off. Now it is just $5.99. Also $50 off the legendary Steel MS250 chainsaw. Now only $379, giving you an opportunity to save a lot of money on the products that you need, especially this time of year. Inside the newly renovated showroom, they got all kinds of things for you. And let me say again, because I know firsthand what they've done for me, it's like going to the tailor to get your clothes. Yeah, you can buy off the rack, but when you have expert service to walk you through every single product, it is that much of a better fit for what you need. 4012 West Beltline Boulevard, always online at catospowerequipment.com.
All right, we got some accidents on a Friday afternoon. Bush River Road near Green Pines Road, Garner's Ferry at Atlas, and Garner's Ferry at Old Eastover. Hard Scrabble near Elders Pond Road, and Hard Scrabble at Clemson Road. So stay away from Garner's Ferry and Hard Scrabble right now. Also, Piney Grove Road at Fernandina Road as well. Incident has been cleared I-26 eastbound at I-20 exit 107B. And I-26 westbound at South Carolina 202. Come back, drive around the SEC is next here on the halftime show. Halftime show. I haven't done that in forever. Post-game show.
Wah, wah.
Wah.
Yeah, no, he is, and it's one of those you want him involved running the ball, but you've also got to be smart about how much you're asking your running back or your quarterback to get hit. In addition to that, but certainly a big part of our running game is Lenoris and his ability to run the ball. But we want those running backs to be able to run the ball in addition to him. But each week is different. Teams know what a weapon Lenoris is, and they're going to do everything in their power to get the ball out of his hands, whether it be throwing the ball and making him get rid of it quick, or running the ball and not letting him carry it.
Shane Beamer from last night's Carolina Calls on the utilization of arguably the best player in tomorrow night's game. I like Harold Perkins a lot for LSU, and they are certainly loaded with talent. Dylan Stewart's really good, but
I think Lenore Sellers is the best player on the field.
Is there a more singularly important player to his team tomorrow?
No. Well, I'll ask you this. Is there a more singularly important player in the SEC to their team than Lenore Sellers?
Ooh.
The only other guy I can think of off the top of my head that could be close to that's Taylor Green at Arkansas.
Yeah, what he's been doing is...
That's the only one I can think of that's that important.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, because I don't know that you can equate Ahmad Hardy's role at Missouri because he simply doesn't touch the ball every time.
Exactly. That's what my one thought is.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the ball in his hands on every snap. The only one close to Lenoris is Green.
Yeah.
In my mind.
And in the relative sense of total importance to his football team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's...
So to your point, yes, Saturday night, the guy wearing the number 16 jersey for South Carolina will be the most important player on the field.
Brewer should have taken gotten a little Superman sticker and slapped it on the back of his helmet just to see what happens, just to see, because that's what Ryan was talking about. Is it's time to come out of the phone booth with the cape on.
You know what? Can I ask you a question? Maybe I missed it.
You can ask me a question.
I'm going to ask you
more
a
than
question.
happy to let you.
Because see, I'm a man of high manners.
Okay.
So I always ask before.
Then you should have said, "May I ask you a question?"
I'm not a smart man of high manners. There's a difference.
Yes.
You hear Shane a lot this year talk about the hits on Lenore Sellers.
Yep.
Not putting him out there to get hit as much. Help me, because I can't remember where I parked my car. Did we hear a lot of that last year?
I don't recall.
Neither do I.
Hearing it as much, and I
I get it. I'm not criticizing
I
it.
was going to say, I think if you look at, again, to use the coin analogy, if you look at the two sides of it, it's right to be cautious is not the right word, because I think with caution comes a little too much hesitancy.
How about being understanding that's out there?
Prudence?
Yeah, prudence. Being cognizant of it.
Yeah, and you have, these are fine lines and that kind of thing. We're sometimes playing semantics with some of it, but I don't recall hearing a ton of it. I mean, at least not publicly.
Yeah.
But I also think, too, to be fair, maybe to the point of him saying something like that last night is, look, the irony to it, when he got popped against Vandy, that was a sack.
And he was in the pocket. Yeah, he was in the pocket when he got popped. He was in the pocket, and there was a blitz. Remember, there was a free runner on the blitz, and he hung in there and made the throw and completed it. But
I was going to say, not a sack, but that was in the pocket. Yeah, I apologize. But yes,
he
was
hit face
throwing,
on, I think, in the flat.
Yeah. But
isn't that the irony? We talk, and it is such an irony, because you are, like in the NFL, the rules are built to, this pocket is a safe area compared to taking off and running, right?
Yeah.
Because you have all those rules in the pocket where you can hit them between the belly button and the belt buckle or whatever the hell it is. Right. Top of the belly button, bottom of the belly button. But, it's ironic that, a quarterback that we're talking about, and Shane has repeatedly said this year about, keeping maybe the hits not as, don't have him have to run around so much and to not even get beat up. And in the place that, you prefer him to be in a perfect world, throwing the ball from the pocket is a place he got knocked out of the game.
So
just saying.
I mean, and Lenoris understands these things, but he's just such a big man.
Yeah, he's a big guy, and he's so important to what they could be as an offense with his arm and his legs, and just no one else. He doesn't have a Rocket Sanders this year like he did last year, and we look at it from our perspective saying, well, he's got to do more because he doesn't have that dude. and they're looking at it like, well, we want them to survive the season.
Yeah.
And, so I understand
It's
the
a
whole
fine
thing.
line,
It
and
is,
and it's
man.
not a straight line.
No, it's not.
It's a very squiggly, curvy line.
Exactly. So it's a big gray area, right? It's not a black and white area. It's a big gray area because I'm also thinking like other teams. Like we go to Green at Arkansas. You ever heard Sam Pittman say, "We gotta get that boy get hit as much"? Sam's like, "Take off, son."
Well, let's see. Now, what does Petrino say? Right?
Exactly. I just think it's interesting, and I was running through my head listening to the cut. That's why I asked you because I have manners. And I was like, I don't remember it being this much of a thing last year publicly.
We'll have more on that for you coming up in our Gamecock Notebook in terms of Carolina LSU. But let's finish up again in early on Friday, of course, drive around the SEC. Speaking of Bobby Petrino, all about him tomorrow, and I don't mean that in a good way. I just mean it in a way because it's a fact. Arkansas going to Knoxville, Vols minus 11.5. If I'm Josh Heupel, I'm doing all I can to make we talked yesterday about statements. And that Tennessee is maybe the team of all of the games tomorrow that has the least need to make a statement relative to their opponent. But I'd go make one anyway.
You'd like to see him hang a Hyundai on them.
I think
their defense is terrible. Arkansas.
Yeah, I think you score early and you score often, and you try to make Taylon Green's life miserable to go back to him.
Wants to make a statement here, right?
Well, Petrino.
Exactly.
Yeah, and this is a place to do it. No question. John Mateer is now listed as probable for Oklahoma tomorrow. The funny thing about the line is, the news came down the other day after Texas was a favorite that Mateer was practicing. Then it went to Oklahoma minus 1.5. Now it's back to Texas minus 1.5.
Strange.
So I don't know, but Mateer goes from questionable to probable. Another availability report coming up tonight.
Interesting.
I guess he'll stay at probable.
That's my guess because you want to keep them guessing a little bit, right? Yeah.
Georgia goes to Auburn tomorrow. The home team is a 3.5-point underdog. I've told you all week, I don't really understand why. I think I don't know where the line would be for me as a gambler, which I am not, but I feel like Georgia 7.5, 8.5, 9.5. I'm still kind of taking. I just see Georgia winning this game by 2 scores.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm doing it wrong. I mean, Auburn did go to College Station and lose by 6, so there's something there.
They haven't been scoring points, and I think Georgia's got the ability to score a lot more points than Auburn, is what I'm saying.
I think Georgia got a little bit right against Kentucky too, and again, as we said, South Carolina is now obviously better than Georgia because they beat Kentucky by 1 point more.
All you need to know.
I kid because I care. Georgia went on cruise control, and South Carolina did too, to be fair.
Yeah.
In a way. But I think Georgia began to tackle again and just, I don't know that anybody's going to be as good on third down as Alabama was against them. Speaking of Bama, they are 2.5-point favorites at Missouri.
This is going to be a fun one.
I'm really looking forward to this.
It's going to be a fun one.
And it's crazy to think that this might be the most intriguing one because Oklahoma, Texas, and of course, everything we all know about the history of Georgia, Auburn. Florida will be at A&M. The Aggies are 7.5-point favorites in College Station. Florida can play defense. I expect, like as we just mentioned it, I expect a game kind of like the Auburn game in College Station. I think it's going to be. I take the under.
I can take the under. I can see Florida lose, but they cover the 7.
Something like that. We shall see. And Mississippi does play. They have Washington State in a non-con. Rebels minus 31.5. I don't know anything about the Cougars this year, so there you go. That's our drive around the SEC. A little J or nay on the other side. AAA Heating and Air ready to keep you and your family nice and warm as the cool nights descend over the Midlands of South Carolina. Might be time to crank up the furnace or the heat pump or whatever mechanism you use to keep yourself nice and toasty. If you haven't had it checked since last year or maybe many winters ago, now's a great time to call 803-677-1500 and get one of AAA's great techs into your house. They've done that for me, almost every single year here for quite a while now. Love those folks. Roy and Dana have such a fantastic staff, very friendly, very knowledgeable. Get in, make sure everything's good to go. Need a little quick service, they can tell you exactly how much it costs. And hey, if it's all good, thumbs up, man, then you're going to be nice and toasty. And if it's time for a brand new system, still take advantage of guaranteed financing, no payments or interest for a full year, $1,500 rebate, and a 15-year parts and labor guarantee. Whatever you need, 803-677-1500. Stay comfortable with AAA Heating and Air. Welcome back in. Final few minutes of our second hour here on a Football Friday post-game show. Jay and Terry with you. Top of the hour headlines coming up. Got some good stuff in there for Gamecock fans. Away from football. We'll have some more football from Shane, too, plus the Gamecock Notebook. And, of course, 5:30 on Fridays means the Wild Card Showdown, where the last 2 weeks, those of us that weren't here have finally won. These are our first two victories of the year. You listeners have been
killing us,
been tearing it up, but maybe we get it going. Elijah will not be part of the. He's going to be part of the contest. I have his picks. Mm-hmm. He has given us those early, kind of like Terry did last week.
Right, he's out bead shopping.
Yeah, maybe just like clean. I think he has his own. I think he's just getting them cleaned.
They have a bead cleaning shop?
Well, you have specialty bead cleaning in Louisiana.
Is it?
You know.
So like that thing you. What is it? That little machine where you drop in, like you clean the coins.
Yeah, I remember seeing something about that, like in Vegas, like that's a whole big part of what the casinos do with the slots.
So
that the quarters and nickels and whatever are always nice and clean.
You can do that with beads in New Orleans.
Yeah,
because you know what, it's a higher level if your beads are clean.
Well, it's sanitary. If you're going, then you look good.
It takes you to another level.
You don't want dingy beads.
If it comes down to, clean beads and dingy beads, they're going to take the clean beads every time.
Yeah, and, some of the extracurricular activity may not come your way.
Because your beads are dingy, sir.
Yeah. Like, what's wrong with that guy? Well, he had dingy beads. I'm going to leave the rest of it to people's imagination before we get into trouble.
Right now?
Let's do this.
I blame you for that.
Maybe this music is kind of apropos, though.
Kind of is. All right, we're playing the upset alert game, sir. Ready?
Okay.
College out of the SEC, upset alert. BYU ranked 15th in the country. Should they be on upset alert at Arizona?
I thought about that earlier because I was putting down some big national games. I'm going to say nay.
Nay?
I think that's a nay. I think BYU is simply better than Arizona.
Is Arizona State on upset alert at Utah?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Utah has maybe underperformed relative to expectation, but I still think they're really good. Sam Levitt is
Might not
doubtful
play.
to questionable,
Exactly.
and I think at altitude that matters. So I like the Utes in that one.
I will say this. Before the Big 12 race is over, you're going to hear from Utah.
I think so.
You are. Should Michigan be on upset alert at Southern Cal?
Jay, I mean, if you want to, I tell you what, do this real quick. Ask me if I think Southern California is going to win.
Is Southern California going to win?
Jay,
Here we go.
I think they're going to score some points, man. Michigan can play D, but I think Southern. Listen, this is almost a must-win kind of game for Southern California. They still have to play Notre Dame. They still have to play Oregon. If you want any shot at anything, you got to beat Michigan at home.
And again, especially where you're positioned.
And this is what you signed up for.
Yep. And that Illinois game, you really.
Yeah, I mean,
should've-
you again must win.
your
Really,
best
really,
interest?
really, 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 really better win.
agree.
So but I think they do.
All right. Should Oregon be on upset alert hosting the Indiana Hoosiers?
I know a lot of people would like to say nay or just no. Dude, I think Oregon's going to kick the you-know-what out of Indiana tomorrow. And if I'm wrong, so be it. But I think Dan Lanning is going to be giving his boys the most lathered up speech that he's maybe, and I know that's incredibly ironic considering they've beaten Ohio State, they've beaten Penn State, they've been undefeated in the regular season and won the Big Ten. But I would go out, I'd say we're going to win, 137-0 kind of speech.
I think Oregon wins. And here, to your point, remember, Lanning is always looking for something. Remember the Colorado speech
Yeah.
before they played the Buffs?
Yeah.
Maybe we got to put these Hoosiers in their place. That's a basketball school.
I do not think Oregon should be on upset alert. So
All right,
nay.
that's a nay. How about, and I know your answer already, but I threw it in here.
Okay.
Should Ohio State be on upset
Oh
alert
God, there's another one, dude.
in Champaign?
The way that Ohio State just so boringly dismantled Minnesota. Illinois is better than Minnesota, so it might not be 42-3.
I
But Ohio State, I sorry, Brett. Unless Julian Sand throws like 8 picks.
and he fumbles 5 times.
Yeah, it ain't happening, man.
That's a huge nay.
It ain't happening.
I'm with you
yeah,
100%.
so nay on that. Ohio State's going to win comfortably. I would take Ohio State minus the 14.5 and not worry too much.
I think out of all those teams, Arizona State's in the most trouble going to Utah.
I think so. And again, if Levitt were healthy, I'd still say so. But with
So-
him being questionable, yeah. US Brick is going to be hosting us in a few days' time. We're looking forward to seeing you down there at their brand new exterior. It is an experience, but it's the exterior Design Center at 300 UG Street. Listen, Gamecock Nation, your home deserves wins, just like your Gamecocks do at US Brick's new Design Center. They are really there to help you get everything done for a brand new home. If you are building from the ground up, build with brick. Maybe you're doing some dream projects in the backyard. Maybe it's a fire pit, retaining wall, or other features back there. Make it last forever with brick, stone, pavers, pergolas, fire bowls, whatever you might need. They've got design and expertise to help you out. So again, whether it's your new home, your backyard upgrade, or a perfect place to hang out on game day, visit them at 300 UG Street, the brand new US Brick Exterior Design Center. And we'll see you out there next week. The great people at US Brick.
All right, get our check on traffic. Last time we were accident heavy on a Friday. It's chilled out a bit. Stop and go traffic, I-26 westbound at Sunset Boulevard. That's exit 110 and St. Andrews Road, exit 106. It's been slow there all week. Bush River Road at Green Pines Road, an accident. Garner's Ferry Road at Old Eastover, hard scrabble at Clemson. I-77 northbound at Blythewood Road, that exit there is 27. And Piney Grove Road at Fernandina Road. We'll jump back in. Wildcard Showdown coming up this hour. But next, 5 o'clock news from our buds at Integrated Media. That's next here on the postgame show. And don't forget, high school football scoreboard show starting at 7 tonight with Kale impersonating Elijah. Justin will be here as well.
It is 5 o'clock news time on this Friday. Welcome back in. It's also the final hour of the postgame show. Alongside Terry Ford, I'm Jay Phillips. We start with Gamecock football. South Carolina remains a 9.5-point underdog tomorrow night in Baton Rouge. The ESPN computers have bumped up the chance of winning a little bit to 28.4%. I don't really know why, because I don't know how they do their simulations. And that's not going to fill you with tons of hope, nor will the news that South Carolina will be down 3 offensive linemen that have all played significant roles this season. Kason Henry still hurt. Marky Anderson is banged up. And center Nolan Hay will not play tomorrow night. None of those 3. They are all listed as out of tomorrow's game, and Shane made mention of that. In the meantime, though, you still got to go find a way to do it. Shane Beamer on Carolina Calls with what he sees as his ball club's keys to winning.
Yeah, special teams will be huge. You're on the road, 2 good teams going at it. They've got dangerous returners, weapons on special teams. So do we. That's going to be a big battle that we've talked to our players about all week. And then, certainly the way we play defense, the way they play defense, there's going to be a lot of one-on-one coverage and one-on-one battles on the outside. Perimeter blocking, making people miss, making competitive catches. We've got to play well on the perimeter. It's going to be really hard for us to win on Saturday night.
Yeah, got to play well on the perimeter. And I feel like there could be, situations there, Terry, on both sides of the ball. Can you spread LSU out? Can you, again, open up those lanes to allow whether it's Lenoris to run? You and Elijah, when Elijah was on with us last hour, talking a lot about the fact that the LSU defense, as vaunted as it has been so far this season, does have a propensity for certain mid-range plays being very hittable by their opponents. And again, when you and me and Elijah or Wes and Chris and Tyler or whomever are talking about it, then I promise you the Gamecock staff knows that too.
You think they've watched a little more film than us?
Can you go make those things work?
Yeah, and the thing with the play, we've been beating the drum on play action all year because Lenoris has been phenomenal in play action. And we've said this before, too. You don't need to be running the ball well to make play action work, especially with a team that has active linebackers. And those LSU linebackers want to come forward, Jay. I mean, Perkins is their best run defender. He's coming forward. Weeks and Keys, those guys are very vulnerable in the passing game because they're always coming forward. And if you can combine the play action with their problems backpedaling and their problems in coverage, if you can get your tight ends involved, your backs, your slots, if you can get mismatches on those linebackers in coverage, that's a huge win for you in the intermediate area. I thought Elijah brought up a great point. Maybe that's your run game in the beginning. Maybe you use that to set up your run game by softening up those linebackers.
No matter what it might look like, and whether it's been that kind of pass game or like I said to you yesterday, stretching the field and immediately just and hitting them. You can throwing deep is one thing. You must connect on a couple of them. And I'm not saying you got to do nothing but throw bombs right away, but find ways to just have that LSU defense take a step back and then maybe another step back and then find a way to create some of that space.
And I think to your point, you want to make them have to account for every area of the field.
Yeah.
Because that's how you start to, like you say, stretch them out. You want to make them think. You want to make them hesitate. And if you can start doing that, that opens up things for you, whether it's a pass game or the run game. You start, and again, the screen game would be great. I mean, South Carolina doesn't use that a ton. Anything to make those linebackers stop and hesitate and think and use their aggressiveness against them, Jay. They're massively aggressive.
Yeah. And that's I think that's something Langston was talking about. There's ways to take advantage of that. And again, they know it too. Can you go do it?
You got it ready at the end of the day. We can talk about it. You got to execute.
You got to go do.
You got to execute.
Yeah,
man.
you got to do. It's a very small word that means a lot. One more here from Shane in this segment, and we'll get more for you coming up in the Gamecock Notebook. But here is the Gamecock head coach scouting the LSU Tigers.
Yeah, you're exactly right. When you in the SEC, and especially when you go on the road, like you got to go take it, and you can't beat yourself. And tonight will be, or Saturday night will be no different. Really impressive team. Obviously, Coach Kelly does a great job as their head coach, and they've got weapons everywhere. They were a good team last year, and then they went out in the portal and really brought in some impact guys in the portal on offense and defense and special teams. You know, we've been talking about Barry Brown, the returner.
I wanted to file an appeal that they got him. How did that happen?
I don't know. We've been
Good
talking about him as a returner at Kentucky for the last few years. Now he's a returner at LSU. So they've got weapons everywhere. Well coached, talented team, and coming off a tough loss to Ole Miss, but really impressive watching them on tape. And it'll be a big challenge for us on Saturday night. But our guys are excited to go compete.
There you go. We'll have more from Shane coming up for you in just a little bit, as I said, as part of the Gamecock Notebook. In the meantime, we continue our integrated media headlines of the day. Just announced a little bit ago, and more bad news for not only fans of the Baltimore Ravens, but just fans of Lamar Jackson in general. But Lamar has been ruled out of Sunday's home game with the Rams. Cooper Rush will start. So that's two in a row now, Terry, for Lamar missing with the Ravens. And you know, you made a point as a fan earlier. It would be the most Ravens thing for them to still find a way to win this one. But Roquan Smith is out. Pat Ricard is out. Emory Jones up front is out.
They're missing a ton of dudes.
Yeah,
man.
I mean this is just beginning to feel for a team that a lot of folks felt could go to the Super Bowl. May just have to take a flyer and look ahead to 26.
You lose this one, which you should, at home to the Rams, because the Rams are good.
Yeah.
And you're this beat up, and you don't have your starting quarterback, and you drop to 1-5. Look,
it's not a good division, but still,
man, 1-5 is. Think about what you got to do the rest of the year to get out of that hole, my man.
Yeah.
It just.
And for one thing, you got to get your guy.
You got to get
healthy.
Your dude healthy, Lamar, and it could be the most Ravens thing ever to win some slobber knocker, where all of a sudden you get 20-mile-an-hour winds, Jay, in a monsoon, and all of a sudden the Rams can't do anything, and you win like 3-2. But
if there's some good news, if they can pull it off, like you said, then they have the off week.
They got to buy.
And then Lamar is healthy. And then you have Chicago and Miami and Minnesota.
And you know what? 2-4 is a heck of a lot better than 1-5,
yeah,
right?
And maybe there's still but
it's a long
find
shot
a way.
right now. It's tough, man. It's tough.
Maybe they can find some of your buddies to run out on the field.
I got some boys that can help this thing out now.
Again, a guy.
This will involve bail money.
Know a guy.
But we can get some guys out there.
Sure. Sure.
I'm just picturing some of those guys.
Yeah, what do you need?
Yeah. It's like hide the shiv. Don't carry it on the field. Yeah. Hide the shiv.
Yeah, I don't want to shiv. Just brass knuckles.
Or like the old WWE, you throw the stuff in their face.
Yeah.
You start pummeling with the chair.
And you pull out the foreign object.
Oh yeah. And you give them a business.
Yeah.
What was it called? Give them a business.
Yeah. Oh, and he's pulled a foreign object out of his tights. A foreign object. How foreign?
And they're wearing tights. It's even better.
You know. Maybe one of your buddies has like a autographed Boog Powell bat.
Yeah, it might be like Ray Donovan. Bring the bat out, baby.
Yeah. Hey, Stafford, let me show you something. You know who Boog Powell is? Boog says hello.
Boog this, Matthew. Hey, you have a nice night of rest on that mattress. Bam.
This is not how we should do the news. And you kids out there, Do not resort to violence with your friends to win football games.
It's not good. We're kidding. It's all a joke and good humor.
As far as you know. Anyway.
Integrated media guys love us right now.
Yeah, no, they're very excited. Yeah, this new segment not brought to you by
I'm waiting for the text from Michael.
Integrated Media. In the meantime, Major League Baseball last night, the L.A. Dodgers eliminated the Philadelphia Phillies. You want to play that one real quick? This is how it went down
Unreal.
last night in the 11th inning.
All right, get this baby clear. Let's do it.
Hess breaks his bat. Kerkering got to find it. Throws to the plate. Oh, my goodness. He throws it away. And the Dodgers have won. The Dodgers win. And they are moving on to the NLCS.
Tough way to lose, yes. And again, I think fundamental breakdown, a lot, if not almost all of the blame is going to Orion Kerkering, the relief pitcher who was on the hill last night. I put a lot of the responsibility on his catcher, and not just on his catcher, but his incredibly well-paid all-star catcher, JT Realmuto. Instead, he was pointing at first base, pointing when 60,000 people are screaming. Is again like trying to stop a hurricane with an umbrella. Mm-hmm. It's not gonna. You gotta be screaming at your pitcher to make the right play.
That's like sitting there like someone's walking the road, not paying attention to cars coming, and you just point.
Yeah. Hey, there's a car. Yeah, but you don't say anything.
You don't say anything.
Yeah. If I was like, hey, buddy, move.
Right.
That might help.
And I agree. I agree with you on Realmuto. He's got to be more vocal there and more demonstrative.
Yeah.
To make sure that your pitcher, who by the way is soiling himself on the inside at this point.
Absolutely.
You need to help him and scream and point him because again.
And if you didn't see the play, it was a sharp comebacker straight to the hill.
Yep.
And he muffed it. Again, I don't have to tell all of you that a pitcher's mound is a rounded piece of earth. Mm-hmm. So a ball is not going to simply sit there. The ball is now rolling. He's trying to look down, pick it up, and he had more than enough time to make the play at first. He did not. He was never going to make the play at home because the Dodger runner, by the time that ball was hit, that dude was halfway down the line.
Oh, yeah. By the way, when you see the throw, even a perfect throw doesn't get him.
Doesn't get him. And the reason that the Dodger kid didn't slide is because I'm sure he was shocked that the ball came home.
You didn't expect that.
Because the play is at first.
Right.
Again, Terry and I were joking earlier, all three runs could have, the hitter could have, Pages could have fallen down and had to crawl to first. All three runs could have come around and technically all three runners, I should say, could have come around and touched home plate. The stands could have emptied. And all you got to do is still throw to first, and the batter is out, and the inning is over, and you go to the 12th 1-1.
Exactly.
You just had to make the play. The play the whole time was at first base.
And look, when we're not sitting here saying the pitcher doesn't get. I mean, again, you've done situations your whole life. Anybody who played baseball hated this word, situations, and now you got to sit there. Everybody gets out in the field, and your coach
has his fungo,
and he's got his dip in, and he's hitting you. First and third, one out, Jimmy. And he hits you the ball. And if you make the wrong throw, everybody's got to go run the telephone pole back.
Yeah.
And we've done this. If you played baseball your whole life, so again, pitcher's got to make the right play. But Realmuto, and I agree with you, is not getting enough criticism for not helping his pitcher in a time his pitcher needed help.
Pointing, it does nothing.
And I'll say this, too. The entire Philly offense needs to apologize.
Yeah, 1 run in 11.
1 run in 11 innings.
It was a great game, though.
It was a phenomenal game. Real quick,
I think about the Dodgers' second run was not. I mean, they did load the bases.
And a base loaded walk.
Yeah,
that's another thing too. You can't walk in a run, man.
Yeah, so
and here, last thing, how cool is playoff baseball in a 1-run game late?
Yeah, it's great. No, I thoroughly enjoyed that.
It's great, man.
I thoroughly enjoyed that. Even if I did not want Philadelphia to win, and again, I have a modicum of sympathy for Kerkering, but only a little because
well, I'll say this: you had some sympathy for me because not only did the Phillies lose and get eliminated, the Eagles got beat.
Yeah, it was not a good
and got
night.
whooped.
And Terry's significant other.
She's a Philly girl. Not in the best of moods last night.
I believe you.
Not in the best of moods.
I believe you. It might not be for a little bit, man.
Yeah,
cranky for the Phillies. That's a good baseball team.
Window's closing, though.
Yeah, I think so.
Window's starting to close. And the
so.
Eagles, you got 10 days till they can tee it up again.
By the way, Bryce Harper, not a good first baseman.
No. How about the play where he falls down to make it, and it looks supposed to be a dive, and
Yeah.
it's just a good first baseman picks that up and goes to first.
And my wife even asked, because he had one where he could have reached over into the dugout, and he just kind of stopped. And she's like, why'd he stop? And I'm like, because he doesn't know how to play first base.
He's not a first. He's an outfielder who's playing first because of his
Yeah,
injuries.
yeah.
That's
But you
all
know
it
what?
is. He's
You
not-
know what they can do now in the National League? They can designate you as a hitter.
I would DH him if it's me. He's not playing first.
Yeah, he's
He's
not
a negative defender.
No, it's not. Yeah, I mean, at outfield he was fine, but
And
first
solid.
base he's not good. You can tell he's not. A
And he's
good
not
first
comfortable.
baseman. No, and that's
just not.
people always think, oh, just put him at first base. No,
The most underrated defensive position on
First
the
base.
diamond is first base.
yeah, it's not an
saying.
easy. And you got that weird glove too, man. that
And
little
it's
mitt.
real important that
Yeah.
you have somebody over there who's worth the crowd. How about the play Freddie Freeman makes to save
Yeah,
the
Freddie.
game?
Yeah,
You want to talk about a choke job?
Yeah.
Edmonds throw and Freddie saves him with the pick.
you know why? Because Freddie is a Gold Glover.
Yes.
At first base. That's our integrated media headlines of the day. More from Shane Beamer ahead of the LSU game, part of the Gamecock Notebook. That's next.
I get it. Being a guy and getting older stinks in many ways. You just don't feel the same. You're like, I'm not good in the gym, lifting. I'm weaker. I don't feel good bouncing back from exercise. My sleep isn't what it used to be. Don't have the same drive in life, whether it's professionally, personally. Pick a room. I'm just not me. I can't remember stuff like I used to. Now I got to use reminders to remind me about reminders. It could just be low testosterone. That's it. One way to find out, you call 803-875-MENS, Men's Clinic of South Carolina. You go in, do the free consultation with Dr. Dan and the staff. If they think it could be low T, they'll do some lab work. If it is low testosterone, they'll put you on a program specifically designed for you to get back to being you again. 803-875-MENS. It might just be low T. Make that call, Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
All right, welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you. The Gamecock Notebook is upon us now. Sorry, I was sitting here looking at our cut list, too. I want to get you the injuries. We'll get you a few more cuts from Shane. And we'll get into one more, too, from Hunt Palmer, who was on with the boys on the Takeover Hour earlier. He covers LSU for ESPN Baton Rouge. He's actually a colleague of our buddy Matt Moscona. But first, Shane Beamer, it's pretty quick, it's pretty telling. We'll do what we did earlier, Terry, for everybody, because I think this is important. We'll do 5, and then we'll come around to 9 as well. But here's Shane Beamer on the injury report.
Yeah, Prisma Health injury report this week is basically the Prisma Health O-line injury report because really everyone but the offensive line is good, which is a positive in that sense. Miles tweaked something in practice this week. He'll be fine. Judge Collier, he's good to go. Troy Pikes got banged up a little bit in practice yesterday, but practiced today, and he'll be fine by Saturday. Markey, Nolan, and Kaysen, they'll all be out, which, hate that for them and for us, but hopefully we can get those guys back soon.
So there you go. Now, before we get to any further review on that, again, cut number 9, please, sir. This is Shane on how they'll handle the offensive line situation with 3 big cogs out of the machine.
Yes, Blake Baker, their defensive coordinator, does an awesome job. We know all about him from 2022 and 2023 when he was at Missouri, and we went up against him and not very well. And then last year, obviously being his first year at LSU, he makes it really difficult on opposing offenses. But to answer your question, I'm very confident. We're not, with those guys being out, it's not ideal, but it's not like we're putting people in there that haven't played. We're putting guys in there like Josiah or like Tree, who has played a lot, and Rodney Newsome and Boaz Stanley and Tro and Shed, Nick Sharp, transfer from Wake Forest, Tavy. We've got some guys on the offensive line that are good players that outside of Shed, who's a true freshman, they've got experience and they've played football at the college level. So it's not ideal, but you're right. We got to be able to not allow them to completely disrupt what we're trying to do offensively, and it's on us as an offense to go out there and execute. Those guys are all scholarship football players that we got a lot of confidence in, and they need to go play well on Saturday night, and we need to help them.
I think unlike 2 years ago, Terry, I said this to you earlier. I think the separation between the backups and the starters this time is significantly smaller.
No, I agree.
I know there's a reason that guys pass guys, all right, or the reasons, and they could be they could be many of them. But, and I'm not saying so. Hey, no sweat, right? Again, there's a reason that some of these guys that maybe did start and have been passed over or whatever, and some of it's injury, some of it's just better play by someone else. There's a host of things, but I just, for now at least, I get the sense that it's not as big of a concern as it was in 2023 when you had to go like 11, 12, 13 deep, and some of those were true freshmen. In this case, as Shane just mentioned, there's only one true freshman in this mix now. Otherwise, as he said, these are all scholarship dudes that have played big-time football, so you need to go do your job. Now, look, easier said than done.
If you play like you're playing the freshman Surratt because he has beaten out upperclassmen, it's not out of necessity.
Yeah, he's earning his time.
He's earning it. And Tree and Baugh are now, third
They
year
were
in the
those
program.
guys 2 years ago.
They were those guys who they looked up and said, "Well, he wants to play, really?" Well,
you said I wasn't playing.
18, I'm supposed to be redshirting, and those guys are now coming in as grizzled veterans.
Right.
And then you got guys from the portal. So I agree with you. I think the separation from the ones and the twos much smaller than it was a couple years ago, and that thing was just a disaster.
Yeah. I did want to get to this from Hunt Palmer, but Terry reminded me, so with all due respect to Hunt, who is a great guy, and I know him too, but Matt Moscona was on with us. Let's get to one. I know this has been a big point of contention. Here's Matt from our program yesterday with us, Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, on Garrett Nussmeier. Let's get to the Nussmeier health and exactly what they see and don't see in their quarterback.
It depends who you ask. There's no mistaking. All right, Garrett Nussmeier a year ago threw for 4,000 yards. He was the leading returning passer in college football. Like, nobody coming back in college football this year threw for more yards a year ago than Garrett Nussmeier. Like, that is an objective fact. And right now, through 5 games, he's 100 yards per game off of his pace from through 5 games a year ago. He was throwing for 330 a game through 5 games last year. He's at 230 right now. And I think the natural thing that people have looked at and said, oh, it's the torso injury. And I don't think that's the case, guys, because I have seen Garrett Nussmeier look like Garrett Nussmeier. I mean, I have seen Garrett Nussmeier rip the ball down the field and throw across his body and look physically like we've seen Garrett Nussmeier look. The problem with this team offensively is the problem we knew it was going to be from the moment last year ended. They have 5 new starters on the offensive line, and they have not blocked anybody. They cannot run the football. They're giving up pressures against 3-man fronts. And when Brian Kelly said against Ole Miss, they saw 86% drop 8, meaning 86% of the snaps Ole Miss was dropping 8 into coverage. That means every one of your receivers is double covered. How can you possibly function through the air if everyone's double covered? So you got to be able to run the football. And they're not committing to running the football. And they didn't have Caden Durham, their best rusher, who, I mean, you all saw last year in Columbia. That was kind of his breakout. But the inability to run the football and give Garrett Nussmeier a clean look has allowed defenses to cheat. And that's what I fully expect Carolina is going to do on Saturday. They will rush 3 or 4. They will drop 7 or 8 into coverage and say, prove to me you can run the football. And unless LSU proves they can run the football, Carolina's going to keep 7 or 8 in coverage and make it really hard to throw the ball, because that's what everybody should do until LSU can prove they can do something about it.
And South Carolina gets Judge Collier back. I think, whether, as Shane said in that injury report, he's good. He played, what they said, 15, 20 snaps against Kentucky. Was questionable the other day, but has been upgraded to pretty much full go. So, I mean, can he give you 30 snaps?
Be great.
That's
all hands on deck, right?
Right.
It's interesting what Matt said. And again, that offensive line, if you look at it again, Pro Football Focus isn't the end all be all, but it's just something we can look at to get a gauge, right? South Carolina's run blocking grade is like 51, and that's not good. LSU's is 49. It might be the worst in the SEC when it comes to offensive lines blocking in the run game. Now, Nussmeier's only been pressured, Jay, about 22% of his dropbacks, which is really good, but he's struggling with pressure. And so that doesn't connect, right? Usually when you're not getting a lot of pressure,
Right.
You're back there, you're doing progressions, you can throw, you can step in, you can do all the mechanics. He is struggling with what little pressure he gets. Depth of targets 2 yards less than last year. There's just, you smell that? Something doesn't smell right.
Yeah,
and it's not me or you.
No.
Well, it might not be you, might be me, but it's just something is just off here. I agree the offensive line's a huge problem. Something else just isn't right with Nussmeier, and maybe it is an injury. Maybe there's just something.
100 yards a game, Terry. That would take him from a 4,000-yard passer to a 2,800-yard passer. That's all of a sudden you begin to realize that's a significant chunk.
And they've got weapons, man, at wide receiver.
Well, they went out and got Brown and those guys. Yeah,
they've got dudes.
It's going to be
something's just really weird here, Jay.
You've been saying that. And you've convinced me. And then when hearing Matt put it all together, so between what you and he said, now I'm just starting to believe that Nussmeier may as well quit.
Retire from football like Vandergrift
you're
did
done.
last
You're
year.
done.
Vandergrift went, I can't do this. I'm done.
I'm out. Real quick to conclude the Gamecock Notebook here, away from football, but of course tonight out in Phoenix, Asia Wilson and her Las Vegas Aces can win yet another WNBA championship. They are up 3-0, and they are favored to win tonight on the road. And also, congratulations, the WNBA announced its first and second team performers this year, all WNBA. On the first team, Asia Wilson and Alicia Gray, and on the second team, Aaliyah Boston. 3 of the top 10 players in the WNBA played at the University of South Carolina.
So you're saying if you come to South Carolina and play women's basketball, you have a chance to go into the WNBA and do something.
That's pretty cool, though. 30%.
That is very cool.
30% of the best players in the WNBA.
Fantastic.
Played for Dawn Staley. There you go. Good stuff. All right, that's the Gamecock Notebook. We need 2 of you, 803-404-6100, 803-404-6100. It's time to play the Wild Card Showdown.
what I told the team after the game in the locker room, that when you turn the ball over 4 times in the
All right, we talk about CHW Cabinetry a lot. Star and her crew, from start to finish, they are here for you. They will, from the minute you call them and contact them, from the minute that you have the new cabinets, whether it's in your kitchen, your pantry, heck, your living room, put them in maybe in the closet. I don't know. Maybe you want to put them in your porch. I don't know, but CHW Cabinetry will take care of that for you. Whatever you want to do from beginning to end, they will be with you step by step. Photorealistic renderings let you see the process play itself out. Just call 803-520-6837. Again, 803-520-6837. Go in, see them, tell them what you want to do in your budget, and they'll make things happen for you from start to finish. The best customer service available comes from CHW Cabinetry, 803-520-6837. If they can make Jen Jensen happy, they can make anybody happy. CHW Cabinetry. Give them a call again, 803-520-6837. Quick check on the traffic. Accident at Divine Street near Woodrow Street, also I-20 eastbound at I-26 at exit 64, I-26 eastbound at I-20 exit 107B as well, I-77 northbound at the Blythewood Road exit, which is exit 27, Monticello Road at Blue Ridge Terrace as well, and stop-and-go traffic, I-26 westbound at Sunset Boulevard between Sunset and St. Andrews Road. Time to get a check on the traffic. Stop and go traffic. I-26 westbound between Sunset Boulevard and St. Andrews Road. That's between exits 110 and 106. Also, an accident reported Divine Street at Woodrow Street. I-20 eastbound at I-26 at exit 64. There's an accident. I-26 eastbound at 120, exit 107B. Accident. And I-77 northbound at Blythewood Road. That's exit 27. And finally, an accident Monticello Road at Blue Ridge Terrace. We'll come back. Wild Card Showdown is next here on the postgame show on the game.
All right, it is time for the Wild Card Showdown here on this Friday. Welcome back. Excuse me, I'm so choked up. Basically, because I won last week, I'm nervous.
You're kind of emotional right
Well, I'm
now. I get it.
nervous. I'm nervous because I want to win again. Let's cue the band, Mr.
Oh,
Ford.
get that here really fast. Where's the band? It's right here.
And they're ready. I knew they would be. Cale Wilson's going to hang out. Again, Cale is going to play exhibition style. Elijah has made his picks as we welcome on Wooly and Tony on this Friday. Wooly, how you doing, man?
Wonderful. Thanks for having me.
You bet. You bet. And Tony, how are you?
Just right. Thank you.
All right. Either you boys going to the fair anytime soon, grabbing a corn dog or anything? Or
Negative.
no? All right. I don't blame you. Not on Friday night, man.
Negative here also.
I don't think you could pay me. If you said, Jay, I'll give you $100 to go to the fair tonight, I'd be like, yeah, no.
I won't lie to you. I'll take $100 to go to the fair tonight. Cale, Tony, you with me? Get $100 to go to the fair?
I don't know if I would, man.
I'm going to pass.
I don't think I would. I don't think I would. All right. Is Cale on mute? Which one are you on?
Oh,
You're
let me
on.
get Cale. Yeah,
He's
let me turn him up.
this one.
There you go.
are. There
Hey,
you go.
Cale.
All right, here we go, guys. Y'all know how to play, but I'll make sure everybody else does too. We play 4 games together against the spread. We each have a wild card game, and we got a tiebreaker stat. Wooly, Tony, if you beat the other guy and can beat 2 of us, then we will hook you up with one of our fantastic craft beer cards. We have won 2 weeks in a row after having lost the first 4 weeks
And
of
we're
the
on a
season.
heater.
So the odds are still with you. Wooly, I will start with you. The Red River game, Texas and Oklahoma from the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. As we speak, Texas remains a 1.5-point favorite. Wooly, who you got?
Give me Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Alrighty.
Tony.
Boomer Sooner. Give me the Oklahoma also.
Oklahoma. Elijah Campbell has picked Texas
Really?
to cover this one. Cale.
Boomer Sooner.
Oklahoma. I'm going Oklahoma as well. I feel like I shouldn't have. We're going to leave Elijah on an island, or are we not, Terry?
All right, real quick, we'll be 10, 15, or 20.
10, 15, or 21.
Times Arch Manning gets sacked.
So you got to.
It's Oklahoma, man. Yeah.
Well, then what does Elijah know that we don't? That's a question to ask.
What do we know that Elijah doesn't?
Well, then we'll see. Oregon is hosting Indiana. I say only. I don't want to taint the jury pool here, but Oregon is only a 7.5-point favorite. If I may, because I've already kind of talked about this one once, so I'm going to go first real quick here. Then I'm going to toss it to Tony. Give me Oregon all day long. So Ducks in this one. Tony, who you got?
I'm going to take the Hoosiers on that one.
Indiana plus the points on the road. Hey, I mean, maybe Kurt Signetti knows something we don't. Wooly, how about you?
Quack, quack.
All right, Oregon says Wooly. Elijah has taken the Oregon Ducks. Terry Ford?
Oregon at home.
Oregon at
Autzen a tough
home.
place to play, man.
Yeah. Cale Wilson?
I love the Ducks at home. I'm picking Oregon to cover.
Oregon at home, minus the points. To the NFL we go. Terry Ford, I'll start with you. The surprising game of the week, perhaps. Maybe not because San Francisco's 4-1, but so is Tampa, and they are hosting the Niners. Both 4-1. Baker on an MVP tear. Bucks minus 3.5.
I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm taking the Bucks.
Tampa Bay
At
minus the
home.
points at home. Cale.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bucks. As a Panthers fan, that pains me to say, but I'm still taking them.
You got to look at it realistically here. Is it time for a letdown? That's the question. That's the question.
You know what scares me about Tampa is they've been living on the edge the whole year.
Is it time? Is it time? I think that it is. I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers plus the road points. So we'll see.
Look, it's not a bad pick.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the Niners are winning with Mac Jones.
They're all right. Yeah. Wooly, what do you think, man? Tampa minus 3.5 over the Niners.
Give me San Francisco.
San Francisco. And that leaves Tony.
Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay. All right, we got a nice split on that one. Kansas City hosting the Detroit Lions. It's the Chiefs minus 2.5 over the resurgent Detroit Lions, I would say. Elijah has taken the Lions in this one. I'll start with you, Wooly.
Oofa. Oofa.
Which team is that?
Give me Detroit.
Detroit.
Give me Detroit.
Detroit, says Wooly.
Wooly takes Oomfa.
Yeah.
Let's roll.
Terry Ford.
Man, it feels like Kansas City's getting themselves back together. I'm going to take the Lions.
Detroit. It's almost picking a win at that point, right? At 2.5.
Yeah.
Again, as I said, Elijah's taking Detroit. Kale.
Yeah, give me the Lions.
Lions on the road. I will take Kansas City, and that pains me like it pained Kale because I think it's time for Denver to make a move. Tony, who you got in that one, man?
You said KC's at home, right?
KC at home, yes, sir.
I'll take KC.
Kansas City in a close one. All right, guys, wild card time. Elijah, we've already drawn his again since he's on the road in Baton Rouge. He's got the Georgia-Auburn game. Dogs minus 3.5. And he has taken Georgia to cover that spread at Jordan-Hare. All right, Wooly, your game is Alabama, a 2.5-point favorite at Missouri. Who you like, Wooly?
Alabama.
Alabama. All right. Tony, your game is Ohio State, 14.5-point favorites at Illinois.
Boy, it pains me to take Ohio State, but I'm going to have to.
Let me just say that as I was making these, that's the game I wanted to draw for myself. Because, again, I think I would take Ohio State minus about 24.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think Ohio State's going to roll.
Tony, I think you're safe. It may pain you, but I believe you're very safe. Kale, you get BYU, 1.5-point favorites at Arizona.
I like BYU's defense. I think they're going to cover.
BYU on the road for Kale. Terry Ford, Tennessee, 11.5-point favorites at home over Arkansas in the Bobby Petrino Classic.
I feel like, Petrino will find a way to cover is my thought, but that Arkansas defense is terrible. Give me Tennessee.
Yeah, you don't really think that. I know you think that, but you don't really think that.
Yeah, probably.
Again, I like that one. Yeah.
I'm going to take Tennessee to cover the 11.
And I've got one that's a little tricky, I think, even though I said they need to win. Southern California, 2.5-point favorites at home over Michigan. Because I said it earlier, give me Southern Cal, man, but I'm not super big on it. I really wanted that Ohio State game. I really wanted that Ohio State game, but it didn't work out for me. Finally, guys, tiebreaker stat. Rush yards for Ahmad Hardy in that game against Alabama. Bama's been prone to giving up some rushing yards. Do they do it tomorrow? Elijah has already chosen 87. I'll let Tony go first. Rush yards for Ahmad Hardy tomorrow against Alabama, Tony.
52.
Ooh, all right. So he thinks the Tide will hold him down. Kale.
110.
110. You're almost doubling up Tony there. Wooly.
135.
Ooh, big day. Big day. All right. I kind of like that. Terry, I'll let you, since you're ahead of me, I'm going to let you go last. I'm going to, not quite where Wooly is, but Kale, close to you. I'm going to, well, you know what? Give me right at 105.
I thought you were going to say 109.
So you took 105? What'd you take, Kale?
I took 110.
Give me 111.
Oh, come on.
Well, listen, luckily you're an exhibition player, so it won't count against you. You'll be all right.
Oh, yeah, I kind of forgot about that.
Wooly, Tony, thank you, boys, for listening. Thank you for playing along and putting up with us. Again, in 6 weeks, we have won twice. Listeners have won 4 times. Odds are good for you. We'll let you know on Monday. Enjoy all the football, guys. Thank you.
And, fellas, hold on real quick. We got to get some more info.
Yeah, sit tight.
Thank
Don't hang up. Yeah, don't hang up so we can make sure that we can get to you if you win on Monday. All right, so we'll come back and recap some of these.
I'm regretting my Detroit pick already.
Well, it's too late.
I know, it's
written in ink.
It's
written in ink. I can't do anything about it.
I'll stick with them, but I start thinking. You ever make that pick? You start thinking about it after you made it.
Oh, way too many.
Oh yeah, same here.
Especially after the game's over.
Oh, yes.
We'll be back. Final few minutes of the program on this Friday. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you. Kale's hanging out again. Kale and Justin will have tonight's high school scoreboard show for you. Elijah is in Baton Rouge covering the game for us. And then he is headed down to New Orleans on Sunday to watch his Saints and Spencer Rattler take on a resurgent New England Patriots.
Well, I mean, look, is anybody surprised that the Patriots are better with Vrabel as the head coach, Mike Vrabel? He's a good head coach.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, is he a guy that I think is ever going to hold Lombardi? No, but I think he's a good head coach. He'll get you the playoffs. You'll have winning records.
Just don't send any Drake May highlights to Chapel Hill because they won't get put up there.
By the way, how petty is all that?
Oh, it's
just silly. It's silly.
It's ridiculous.
It's just, and we didn't have time to get to it today, but
well, there was a quote real quick. I had it on here. Hold on, let me go get to it. Oh no, I forgot that Grace they had to move this one down. Anyway, there was a quote from Mike Lombardi, who's the general manager of North Carolina football. And the kid at Virginia, the quarterback at Virginia, wanted to play for Chapel Hill. And Lombardi basically told him, yeah, you don't have any idea what it's like to play in the NFL.
That was in The Athletic.
Yeah. And it's like, well, no bleep, Sherlock, because you know why? Because I'm playing college football. And see, I said on Twitter that quote is exactly what is wrong with North Carolina football.
Absolutely.
They don't know. I'm not saying they don't know what they're doing, because they know how to coach football. But they don't know what they're doing in college football.
It's an arrogance where you walk in like, we did in the NFL, right? We know the NFL. Well, guess what, dude? This is the ACC.
Yeah.
It's not the NFL.
And by the way, and it wasn't just Grace. I think it was Grace and Ralph Russo and some others that contributed to a really big expose on North Carolina football. But in it, they mentioned that Mike Lombardi, who's in his 60s and has worked with Bill Belichick for 20-something years, basically, the sources that they had said he was stunned to learn that young men didn't just fall over backwards to play for Bill Belichick.
Yeah, well, they thought they'd walk in from the NFL and Bill with his 6 rings and all these players like, oh, boy, let's go play for Bill.
Right, and it's like,
and work that way.
Yeah, they're like, no, we want to go play somewhere where we're going to win or better than this or just whatever. Anyway.
There's the arrogance has been a big part of what's happened, the arrogance.
I don't know if you and I are arrogant or not, but you and I, and we weren't alone on these staff picks with 107.5 and Gamecock Central today, Jack Veltri publishing those, but you and I, both I think with solid reasoning, have picked South Carolina to win tomorrow night's football game. My score was 23-20, which I think Tyler also picked.
Yeah.
And yours was right around there.
Yeah, 20. Mine was like 22-21 or something like that. I think it's going to be really tight.
I do too.
But I just think the narrative of everything going into this game is that LSU is a much better football team, and I don't think that's true. I think the one weakness South Carolina has shown on defense is a team that can run the ball right at them.
Yeah.
And LSU can't do that.
Well, and you get a lucky break. I don't know if it's lucky or not. But LSU will attempt to say, okay, well, they can't stop the run.
Yeah, but LSU's not physical up front. It's not a physical running game. You don't have a guy like Hardy breaking 100 tackles. Durham's not that guy. The LSU offense has struggled just as much, if not more, than the South Carolina offense in some ways.
Yeah.
Yes, LSU's defense is better statistically than South Carolina's. I get it. But I just go back to this, man. One team's got number 16 and one team doesn't.
Yeah, I think Carolina gets a timely turnover, makes it count.
Don't disagree.
So.
I also think South Carolina can hit again. There are plays to be made in the middle of that LSU defense in the passing game. I think South Carolina can hit a couple explosives. And that can be the difference because LSU doesn't hit explosive plays either.
Right.
So I'm going down, and I agree with you. I think something from the special teams is important, or the defense getting a big turnover. Nussmeier puts the ball in danger.
I'm
yes.
I don't want to say counting on that, but that's what I'm looking at.
I think
that Carolina makes that Clayton and his guys have figured out where, and you go get it.
And we've seen this team play well on the road. We saw it in Tuscaloosa. We saw it in Norman. We saw it at Clemson.
And again, you were in it at Missouri. If you could have done anything
going
on
in the
ground.
fourth quarter, man.
Yeah.
So
you went 3 and out twice.
I don't think Death Valley is going to make them soil themselves. I think they're going to go in there and they're going to eke one out. That's just how I feel.
I do too. And again, we could be wrong. Do we need to do internet, or you want to do it later?
Yeah, we've done a lot of picking.
Okay.
Let's just talk about this.
All right.
We can talk about
Well,
this
speaking
game.
of picking, you and Elijah are 15-15. I am 13-17. You and I both went 4-1 last week.
Man, look at us.
So we'll
We
see.
might not get one right again for a month.
We'll see. Yeah,
Jeez.
that's a.
That's like a kiss of death on us, isn't
That's
it?
right. And again, good luck tonight to Asia Wilson and the Aces as they go for another WNBA championship. That'd be a big deal.
Yeah, you're up 3-0. I think you're
I think they're going to get it done. If they don't get it done tonight, they can go back home and win it.
exactly.
Over the weekend. Good stuff.
All right.
Cale, thank you, buddy. Great. Thanks to Elijah. Thanks to Langston. Y'all have a great football weekend, and we'll see you here on Monday. At the men's clinic. If you're not feeling like yourself as you get a little bit older and you're wondering why, please don't wait for it to just go away, because that's probably not going to happen. And don't be embarrassed about some of these things. Everybody gets it. It can be difficult to talk about it, but that's why you go see